welcome to today's video. I want to treat myself a bit, and of course you guys, because I know you love this building style. I want to do a build, and it is going to be going back to basics a little bit with a bit of a medieval style. I have kind of a vague idea of what I want to do. I don't know 100% yet. I need to brainstorm a little bit. Once I get there, I'm going to pull you guys in and we can get started on it. I know I want it to be medieval, maybe like a little keep, maybe like somebody's house. I don't know. I want some kind of theme to go with it, so that's going to be something for me to figure out. And then I do have a twist I really want to pull in at the end, and that's going to be the personal challenge. But I'm going to leave you guys in the dark until we get there because I think it's going to be really exciting. So I won't delay this anymore. How about we get started with the very beginning and basics of setting up this build. So let's start with a new world. I've never done this, having a camera in my videos, as anyone who's been around the channel knows, but I thought it might be kind of an interesting touch. To do this, I am putting a lot of pressure on my PC, so bear with me. This might not be great. That's a random name, but I like it. Firetooth Keep, small, journey, let's go with Crimson, and create. Let's get started with this. Yeah, so while this runs and it does its thing, I want to be able to interact a little bit more when I explain my process, but bear with me. The microphone I am using is not great quality. Firetooth Keep. All right, here we are. Anyway, microphone is not great quality. I'm trying to figure that out. Camera is not great quality. I'm trying to figure that out. So please bear with me and have some patience. I am working on this. It's just kind of a financial thing. So until I get a little bit more saved up, this is just how the quality is going to be. All right, so first thing I like to do when I start any of these, as you all may know, is pick out a general palette of blocks I want to use. This isn't because I want to restrict myself to anything, but because it's really annoying to try and think of what you want to use while you're building. It makes everything take so much longer. So what I usually do when I'm building these and I'm doing these videos is break them into steps of terraforming, setting out a frame for the build, and then doing like general details, decoration, and then final details. This one, I want to be messy. This one I want to feel supernatural. So this is going to be like a typical time-lapsing build. I want to start with kind of what I would do. Like if I was building this myself, I wasn't recording it, I wasn't doing anything. That's how I want to start it. So it's going to be some experimenting, some going here and there. I'm going to start that way. I'm going to work it into a time lapse. I'm going to try and break it up into chunks so that it's a little bit easier to digest. And then I'll kind of pause and talk about what I'm doing throughout the way. I think this is going to be easier for me, and I think it might be a little bit more enjoyable for you guys, kind of keeping to a strict structure. Oh my goodness, I forgot we have different loadouts. So this is the general concept of like the shape I want, and it looks confusing. I want to do a little bit to kind of explain this. So let me get some wire out here. I always like using this for videos when I'm trying to explain stuff. So this here is going to be like a tower. I don't know exactly how I want to implement that. The reason it's so big and boxy is because I want to actually take these sides and move them in. I just like giving myself some extra room so I can really have more shape to play around with, because if you start small, I feel like it's a little bit more difficult than just doing this. And then I want a roof. I miss doing like very intricate roof. Oh, you know what I might do? Okay, I'm glad I'm doing a brainstorming session with you guys. I want to do a background right here. I haven't done one of those in a hot minute. So there's going to be a background building right here with its own little roof up top. So over here, this is just going to be like your typical roof right here. Nothing too fancy. Like I said, I'm doing like a style that I'm already pretty used to and I do quite often. So the next step, this one's going to be a little bit longer of a stretch. I want to actually finish the general terrain. This is where I'm not going to do a lot of detail. I want to finish like refining the shape. I want to add some walls. I want to really make this look like what I have in mind. So this is kind of the sketch. So right now I'm throwing in the colors, so to speak. I'm adding the shapes. I'm really, everything that I want this to look like in the end, it's going to be a blob right now, and then we'll come back and refine it later. So I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. I'm going to go get to work on that, and I'll pull you guys back in once we're a little bit further on and closer to adding details. let's look at what we got right here. As you can see, quite a transformation, and I think this pretty well described, or pretty well showcases exactly what I was describing, and that's exactly why I wanted to do it this way, a little bit differently than I normally would. So this center, I'll explain a little bit of what I want now. So this center is the spawn point, you can see right here. I want it to look like a door or an open door. I want it to look like you're coming out of it. That's the whole idea. I love doing those kind of things. It makes the build feel a little bit more alive, like you can interact with it. This back here is there's gonna be a lot of paint and detail work to make it look like it's behind the whole build. I may add some little details around to like really add some depth to this whole project. I love doing that in Terraria. So the rest of this is gonna be adding texture, detail, color, a lot of work is going to go into this next step. It's going to seem like very little things. Like this seems like the main build, but this next piece is going to take the most amount of time. So I'll give you a little bit of an example of what I'm talking about here. So all these, you know, I'm going to paint them brown. I like to actually experiment a little bit more with wood. You can paint them orange and blue and stuff, and you can make them look a little bit more interesting. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a wooden block, but like, oh, I want this to look like wood. I want this to look like brick. I want this to look like etc. And just kind of going through those steps, working on it, adding lighting, shading, that kind of thing, just slowly painting. So I'll do this little section right here, again, to just kind of give an example. So it's like, I want this brick, that's too bright. See, that there's a lot of work gonna go through here. But this is kind of what I'm talking about in detail. So it's doing that with blocks. It's also adding texture, like seeing how this is broken up with stone and brick. So it's doing the same thing. And I'm also gonna start actuating things. So for instance, this up here, these, I didn't actually place it. I'm gonna have to go through and do, but yeah, actuate this stuff and it really transforms like the perspective. So that is a lot that I have to go through and do. It's gonna take me a while. I might not show all of it, but I'm gonna pull you guys back in and kind of review it once it's done. So sit back and enjoy. My goodness, I could not be happier with how this has come out. It has been a minute since I've done anything Terraria, any kind of building. I'm so happy with this. Anyway, I'm gonna stop fangirling over my own over my own project. So the next steps, as you can assume, is going to be furniture, extra details, and pretty much finishing this build off. So I missed something over here. Hold on. So the next steps, it's going to be furniture. It's going to be adding life. So right now, this just looks like a structure. I want to make it look lived in. I want to add themes, characters, spaces. Like, I want to make this place feel cozy and like there's just a lot happening. So there's a lot of things that I did here that this is actually going to look a lot fresher than the last time I built, because I've learned a lot about art and composure and stuff since then. But a lot of the techniques I use here, I actually covered in a video not too long ago, which are some beginner building tips. Now, these are obviously for people who are just starting out with Terraria, but you can use these pretty much whenever if you don't already know them. So I highly recommend checking that video out. That being said, I'm really excited to move on to the next part. So let me finish up this build and then I'll bring you guys back after to check out the finished project. Actually, before I get started on this, I want to quickly say as a huge tip when you're doing interiors, echo blocks will be your best friend. You can do so much with them, especially like furniture wise. You can make really unique looking contraptions. For instance, if you take a hat rack, you get a bucket, a bucket, and you put a bucket in here, and then you get some echo paint and paint this. Look at that. Like, it's small, but you can do so many cool details with this. So I just wanted to quickly say, you might see me doing this a lot in the time lapse, but I highly recommend utilizing these. I cannot say enough how happy I am so far with how this project has come. That's not it though. There's a little bit more I want to add. I want to finish the terrain, and I have that last element I mentioned that I did not forget about. I'm going to do all of that on my own. I'm not going to record it. and I'm really excited to bring you guys in for the final reveal. So let me finish that up, and you guys are gonna see it in just a second. So without further ado, here is this project in its full completion. Yes, the dragon is the big reveal. I didn't want to record it because that was difficult. It was a lot of trial and error. I mean, I did record it, but it was a lot of trial and error. It came out really good though. I'm really happy with that dragon. I wasn't sure. I've never really built anything quite like it, but I really wanted to. Like, the whole reason for this build was for the dragon. The build's a little bit bland in my opinion. I think it looks good, but I've done builds like this so many times. It's just not interesting. It's not unique. I don't like that there isn't a lot of color. But the dragon was the whole point. So I really love this whole project. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you have more ideas and suggestions for things you'd like to see, please let me know. And as always, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.